Alright, so once again I'm live coming in and talking about some issues that very paramount. As you know, I say today I turned 37 years old, so we're just posting things and doing things and um, I posted something about a guy from Marco Advisory Partners and they told me I couldn't play that. They said that your post's been banned or removed. And I said, why? Is it because I'm exposing things or I'm just posting something? So, guy name was Mike Powell. And then I got to saying, I called two people up and I said, man, this is about BlackRock. So there's a financial name called BlackRock, who is the world's largest asset manager, right? So, you go on your biblical scripture, it talks about a beast and a dragon, right? That's what it talks about. It's in the Revelation, right? So you gotta know who these entities are. I know we get into the day and the why here, where, there, everywhere, but no, that's not it. You need to know who the entities are, who are the players on the world stage. The financials. Who's who? And who's what? What role they playing? Who got the tentacles around the world? Right? See, I thought I was sitting on top of the world. But that don't mean I'm controlling it. Burna Boy sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. Nice song, but it's fiction. Who runs it? Who controlling this bad boy? Right? I think the people should control it. Yeah. Indigenous people of all continents should control the world. But unfortunately, that's not what's going on. Oligarchs are controlling this. Right? So it's all good. Right? So it's not out of the realm to think this or to know about it. Right? So waiting on Chak to come on.
Yeah.
You make a video.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the video. I don't even know where you were sitting. It just seemed like you're sitting at a place and you're kind of sharing your frustration. And you posted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it goes tens of millions of views, right? And then afterwards, you go and you're like, if mainstream media doesn't want to have me on, I'm going to go and do my own thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you go on Rogan, you go on Tucker, you go all over the place.
Yeah.
All right. You go all over the place and you're kind of talking and you're doing what you're doing.
Hit Bill Maher.
You hit Bill Maher, which was kind of interesting. You've had a Bill Maher situation before where you called him out directly. It wasn't this one.
Yeah.
That was the Bill Maher of, I think, 7 years ago, you guys had a moment. You know which one I'm talking about. The one that you were very cool and you just kind of put him in his place, but in a very respectful way.
Yeah. I called it a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Teachable moment.
Rob, have you seen this or no? If you've not seen this, just see if you can find it. It's actually very entertaining. It's 6 minutes, so we don't need to go through it. I think it's worth for the audience to watch for themselves. But anyways, and I don't know if it's Tucker you're talking to or whoever you're talking to. You said the View did. Then he said even Oprah Winfrey didn't want to have me on. You know, when you're trying to promote your big three, you're trying to build your business and all this other stuff. And at that time, some people are like, well, you know, why don't they want to talk to this guy? Why wouldn't they want to talk to him? And then you say, you give him the, you know, maybe it's not, if you were to maybe put a new song a year ago, my visualization would have been, instead of saying fuck the police, maybe the title would have been fuck the mainstream media. Right? Let's just say, if you chose to make a comeback. So at this point of being in this business this long, Hall of Fame, Walk of Fame, you name it, you got all of them, right? Who has the most power in the entertainment industry?
Wow. I mean, it's really hard to say who has the most power. It's some very powerful entities out here, you know. Maybe BlackRock has the most power in Hollywood. Who knows?
You'd say BlackRock. I wouldn't disagree with you. They're on BlackRock.
Vanguard,
State Street, those guys.
Maybe they have the most power in the entertainment.
You think more than like a Lucian Grange?
Yeah. He's just, you know, he could be fired.
He could be fired.
Yeah.
Leor, even these guys could be fired.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So you're going straight to the top. Who has the most power? So you think there's so much power that if they wanted to not have a guy like you be heard, they would do their best to not have a guy like you be heard?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little too late. I got a lot of records out there. I'm heard.
Right. So do you know who Sonny Francis is?
No, who's that?
So Sonny Francis is, Google Sonny Francis.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the Colombo family?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
You ever seen the movie Mobster with Christian Slater, with you know, you hear the story about Meyer Lansky, Frank Costello, all those guys?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So Sonny Francis is probably one of the most feared mobsters of the last 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he did 55 years in jail.
Wow.
He died, I think, Rob, at 103 or 104 years old. If you can go down and see what age he is when he died, 103. So he and I met 3 times in the last 2 years before he died.
Yeah.
I was trying to do an interview with him. Mm-hmm. And I'm in New York, and I take him out to lunch, and we're sitting down, we're talking, and I'm asking about his experience with Meyer Lansky. I'm asking about experience with all these other guys. And he was very comfortable throwing, you know, the people of power, the government or the money people, under the bus. But he was no way going to throw any of his peers under the bus at all.
Yeah.
Even if you said to him, so, Sonny, what do you think about Bugsy? He'd said you'd never call him Bugsy to his face.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Salute. What's the word?
At 37 years old, I thought I was sitting on top of the world, but who's got the tentacles around the world? That's the topic of the day. Playing it right now for you. So let me go back.
It's the Iranian.
Yeah, but Ice Cube on there. So listen close.
Okay.
When they want to talk. And then you say, you give them the, you know, maybe it's not, if you were to maybe put a new song a year ago, my visualization would have been, instead of saying fuck the police, maybe the title would have been fuck the mainstream media. Right? Let's just say, if you chose to make a comeback. So at this point of being in this business this long, Hall of Fame, Walk of Fame, you name it, you got all of them, right? Who has the most power in the entertainment industry?
Wow. I mean, it's really hard to say who has the most power. It's some very powerful entities out here, you know. Maybe BlackRock has the most power in Hollywood. Who knows?
You'd say BlackRock. I wouldn't disagree with you. They're on BlackRock.
Vanguard,
State Street, those guys.
Maybe they have the most power in the entertainment.
You think more than like a Lucian Grange?
Yeah, he's just, he could be fired.
He could be fired.
Yeah.
Leor, even these guys could be fired.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So you're going straight to the top. Who has the most power? So you think there's so much power that if they wanted to not have a guy like you be heard, they would do their best to not have a guy like you be heard?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little too late. I got a lot of records out there. I'm heard.
Right. So do you know who Sonny Francis is?
No, who's that?
So Sonny Francis is, Google Sonny Francis.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the Colombo family?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
You ever seen the movie Mobster with Christian Slater, with you hear the story about Meyer Lansky, Frank Costello, all those guys?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So Sonny Francis is probably one of the most feared mobsters of the last 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he did 55 years in jail.
Wow.
He died, I think, Rob, at 103 or 104 years old. If you can go down and see what age he is when he died, 103. So he and I met 3 times in the last 2 years before he died.
Yeah.
I was trying to do an interview with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in New York, and I take him out to lunch, and we're sitting down, we're talking, and I'm asking about his experience with Meyer Lansky. I'm asking about experience with all these other guys. And he was very comfortable throwing, the people of power, the government or the money people under the bus. But he was no way going to throw any of his peers under the bus at all.
Yeah.
Even if you said to him, so, Sonny, what do you think about Bugsy? He'd said, you'd never call him Bugsy to his face. Mm-hmm. To you, you can call him Mr. Siegel. That's how he was.
Yeah.
That's this guy. If you ever read about this man, he is as legit as they get. Some stories about one guy at their house flirts with his wife. You can read what he did to that guy after.
Wow.
Okay, so he's one of those heavyweights. Cube, do you think it's necessary for the people of power who abuse their power to be exposed, or is it not a fight worth having?
I mean, the truth is always good. The truth is always good for the soul. What's done in the dark will come to light. And it's probably necessary.
You think the entertainment industry is going through major disruption or not yet?
Yeah, man, because the entertainment industry has to deal with artificial intelligence, artificial art, artificial influence, artificial inspiration, artificial, pictures, movies, music. And we're going to have artificial fun with it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be here if it isn't already, right? Yeah. I mean, there's artificial porn, wives, women. I mean, there was a movie done called Her. I don't know if you ever saw this movie, Her.
Yeah, I remember
with
Her.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, it was
weird movie. Yeah. Weird,
but here we are.
Right, exactly.
So
ahead of time, right? Kind of like, where we're eventually going to be at, that, that time was going to be coming. And these.
All right. Chak, what do you think about that, Chak?
You said what now?
You think we're gonna have artificial porn? You think he said Lion Cohen and Ian Grange and all them, they can be fired? He told
why he bring that up? Why he bring that up? Oh boy, why he bring
because he asked him who you think running Hollywood.
No. I'm talking about why he bring up the artificial porn shit. Like when he said the artificial, we already know everything artificial comes up under that. Why he had to literally say it?
I don't know. I don't know why you asked that part. I was going with the more prudent part about the companies, but yeah, that was kind of interesting. He brought it. I don't know how they got in there neither. I just know that he said that.
See,
but that is
I
true.
pay attention, bro.
I know why he said it. I know why he said it. Wait a minute. I know why he said it. Because he asked him about the music industry and the movie industry, and he said that the movie industry is moving toward AI. They don't really need people no more for this no more. He said that. He did say that.
But I'm saying, but why did he have to literally say it though? We already know all that comes up under it. We already know that when you say AI and digital, we already know everything comes up under that. I'm just saying why you know what I mean?
I got you.
He put an emphasis on.
Hey,
you gotta watch
these
cats, man.
But I know one thing. Well, so let's dig deep into this rabbit hole. Let's dig deeper. Me, you, and our friend from Arizona had a conversation earlier, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Middle class Biden courts Wall Street oligarch BlackRock's Larry Fink. Right here. There he is. That's Larry Fink, and that's Joe Biden. There you go. You see it. All right. Let me read this paragraph. This is from the Daily Beast. Ever since Donald Trump secured the president in 2016, there have been those who have argued that Biden is the Democrats' only chance of victory in 2020. Why? He plays well working in middle-class voters who might otherwise vote for Trump. While many question the merits of this assessment, it appears that at least one important figure has embraced this middle-class Joe Biden. It is therefore puzzling that Biden is seemingly already betraying his supposed working-class base by cozying up to the financial entity titan like BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. In January, the Atlantic reported Biden went to see Fink, who told everybody, "I'm here to help," which Biden took as a sign that Fink wanted as a role in his campaign when he runs. Ingratiating oneself to Wall Street executive hardly seems like a winning strategy, no better your lane of base. Now check this out. A 2017 poll found that 72% of Americans believe that Wall Street has too much influence in Washington. BlackRock undoubtedly exerts enormous influence in Washington. Unlike other corporate giants, BlackRock uses deep well resources to buy influence. Since 2004, BlackRock has spent just shy of $22 million on direct lobbying. This level of spending puts it on par with peers in the financial service industry. Additionally, in every election cycle since 2000, the firm has given $100,000 to campaign committees and super PACs. This is consistent with peers' behavior. So that's that. You can get this article for yourself. But I thought I was on top of the world today, but look like these guys sitting on top of the world. I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems like they sitting on top of the world if you ask me with all this hanky-panky going on. What do you think, Chak?
Well, something else you need to look up, put in your search in, like I said, put that TLAC in there. Because it all ties together on the moves that they make.
All right, I'm gonna get to that too. Because I got another little slide. Let me put one other one first. Since you were talking about that, this one wasn't even in my topic, but I'm gonna put it in there since you brought it up. I did post this morning, but let's just get to it. All right, Chak, you were talking about a bail-in, right?
Yeah, the bail-in, yeah.
You can go get this article right here. U.S. corporate bankruptcy filing surge. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. But this is U.S. corporate bankruptcy filing surge, and here are the business types that led. So this is about bankruptcies going on. There's a historic surge in corporate bankruptcy filings in June in the U.S., with the highest number recorded in a single month since at least the start of 2020. The number of corporate bankruptcy filings of June 2024 also surpassed half-year figures seen in over a decade, according to S&P Global Market Intelligence, which shares financial industry data. Okay, there's been a total of 346 total bankruptcy filings so far this year, which is higher than any comparable figure in the prior 13 years. And number 13 again. 55 total filings have came as of July 1st, 2024. Companies in the consumer-directed sector manufacture goods and provide services that people want, but don't necessarily need, according to TD Bank. Restaurants, restaurants, hotels, clothing retailers, and media companies. It's also not the same as consumer staple where items people need all the time, like food and household projects. So here are the number of bankruptcies. Consumer discretionary, you had 55. Healthcare got 40. Industrials got 40. Information technology, IT, 20. Consumer staples, 19. Right? Financial, 16. Materials, 11. Communication services, 10. Energy, 4. Utilities, 3. So there's your corporate bankruptcy filings for the year. What do you think about that, Shaq? That's kind of big news, ain't it? I mean, that got something to do with that TLAC, don't it? Huh?
I think people need to look into it, man. I think where it is, I think you better get a trust. So I don't know, man, because like you said, they do this bill in. The investors now. Did you name investor? What was the name that the conglomerate you named earlier?
BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard.
They are investors.
BlackRock, top.
So guess who? Hmm?
Oh, I know who. Oh, I know who you talking about. You talking about the people, or you talking about the people behind it, right?
The investors, yeah, the investors is the ones that's going to receive the bailout.
Oh, they're going to
which is going to be
benefit.
a bail-in. They're going to receive benefits. The money that's left in these banks, they're going to the one that's going to receive those funds that's left in those banks, in bank accounts.
All right, what's that thing called? A TLAC, right? TLAC, right?
Yeah, TLAC, yeah. Total loss absorbed capacity. Yep, put it on the screen so the people can see you. So they don't think we just put stuff out our cheeks. But they're going to look it up for themselves.
Total loss absorbing capacity. Yeah. This is a common thing. I mean, well, let me take that back. Shaq, I'm about to say something. I'm sorry for being crazy for saying this. I thought everybody knew this. This ain't no. When you say them abbreviations, right? Sometimes you might throw me off. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought people knew this already. I mean, this has been out for a long time. This is not new. But so that's why but it's all right, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's been out since 2015, yeah.
Well.
But like you said, what was going on? A lot of shit was going on. People didn't realize. Like, it's like that letter, allegedly, well, not allegedly, but that civil order letter that Barack Obama got in 2014 from the Pope. A lot of that went past people.
Well, guess what? You know what? You know what happened on 2015 that had a lot of people distracted? You know, on July 13, 2015, that's the day when they killed that girl, Sandra Bland, or whatever happened to Sandra Bland. Right? So we was already distracted.
But remember what was going on, too. Remember we had H1N1, SARS, Zika, all that stuff was going on around that time.
We had a lot of shit going on. We had a lot of shit going on. We was hey, look, man, our head was in the sand, Jack. You know what I'm saying? But here's TLAC. On November 9th, 2015, the Financial Stability Board issued the principles on loss absorbment and recapitalization capacity of GSIBs and resolution. The issuance also included the total loss absorbent capacity term sheet, which sets out the TLAC standard. Select here to assess the document. Objective of TLAC requires globally systematic employment. So let me make this clear, Shaq. This is a global banking thing. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's global. Let's put it out there. The objective is to have an orderly resolution by making debt equity holders absorb losses, enabling a bail-in instead of using public funds conduct a bailout. So there you go.
Oh, matter of fact, hold on. I'm glad we had this conversation. Let me go right here. Let me go. Matter of fact, I need you to pull it up. Hold on.
It's already up.
Go to it. No, you got that. Now we need to do the etymology on some of those words. You said debt equity. Go back to that paragraph right before and read it back over because I want to go over a couple words.
Debt equity holders.
Debt equity holders. They got us as the debtors. So who will be the debt equity holder then? If we are debtors, if we in debt, who's holding the equity on that? Let me get my.
You do know that BlackRock is a private equity firm, don't you?
Hold on, let me see. I mean, you could type this in too because this is what me and Mark was doing. We were doing some etymology, like we was actually pulling up the etymology of words and the origins of them and shit. Because this is going to play very, very big key in understanding and overstanding. So let me go back. Let me see if I can type that in and see if that phrase comes in its etymology. I mean, you can go to it too and pull it up if you want to. I think it's ETYM.
I'm gonna try to find me a video right quick. You know what I'm finding a video of?
What's that?
The same thing we talking about. I want somebody.
Oh yeah, you know somebody. You know probably.
But
okay, hold on. Okay, I got the etymology. Well, one of the etymologies of equity. And this is from early 14th century, and it is equate, right? First word is equate, and it says quality or quality of being equal. It says quality of being equal of fair, impartiality. Late 14th century. Hold on. Late 14th century. Hold on, I gotta click on it and expand the definition. Okay, late 14th century. That which is equally right or just to all concerned. So, okay, from Old French, equate, 13th century. From Latin, equatum, which is, let me see. So it pretty much means equality and fairness and justice. Equity. That's the etymology of equity. So let's go back to debt. And what's the etymology of debt, bro? Because they put them two together. Debt goes back to the 13th century, and it is debt, D-E-T-T-E. It says anything owed or due from one person to another. A liability, bro. So you telling me equity is supposed to mean fairness, right? Impartialment, righteousness, right? Debt saying it's something that's owed from one person to the next. So you telling me they're collecting that debt, they're using your debt to collect equity off of your debt. Now, how does that seem right? Partial. How does that seem righteous and impartial and fair?
I got a question.
Fair.
I got a better question. The better question is, here go Marcus too. How do you? Hey, what's up, Marcus? How you doing? Look, how do you take the lands of people, right? All over the world, from here to, I don't even give a damn if no pole, right? You put me in debt through microloans and et cetera, like in these places, right? Well, that means you owe us You ain't supposed to be doing no bail
There you
in. The
go.
only bail in you supposed to be doing with us, not no company. That's wrong. That's not equity.
Right. What's up, BJ?
There you go.
What's up? That's not equity. That's thievery. That's stealing. That's robbing. That's like the Wizard of Oz, man. Who the wizard behind this operation? Now look, Marcus, I want to bring something up because I you know what? I went to the Bible, man. The reason I went to the Bible earlier, I went to the Bible itself, right? Yeah.
Oh, well, you made me spit my food up, bro.
So
BJ stirring the pot today.
Hey, what?
Yeah. Because they, you know, when they took my post down this morning, and I'm getting to that post, I'm just not gonna put it on here.
I went to the Bible, bro.
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, hold on.
Let's get it.
I ain't gonna be on here that long. I gotta make a run soon, but you know, you were talking about a dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get that verse. Revelation 12:3. Yeah, right here. Now let's start from verse 1. Revelation 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now, I mean, you can get your own interpretation there, but you should know what that's about. But nevertheless, and she being with her child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another one in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast out them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Now, and she was brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. Her child was caught up unto God into his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, but she had a place prepared of God that they should feed her 1,260 days. All right, those 6 verses I read right there. All right. So when we were talking about earlier, the dragon is BlackRock. And everybody else is an underling.
Oh shit!
Right? It's right here in this Bible, man.
Well,
You can get it, but do not lean on your own understanding.
Watch this.
No, you did,
Watch
BJ.
This.
No, you did, bro.
You said 7.
Oh snap!
How many continents is it?
Hey, if you're wondering about that 12, that's the tribes, brother.
That's 12 tribes, yep.
You said
12 tribes, bro.
It's 7 continents, right?
Yes.
Yep. 7 continents.
Okay. Now watch this. You said it was. You said you talked as she, right? As in feminine, right?
Yeah.
The 10 horns is the 10 kings too.
All right.
7 continents.
Just so you know that. It explains that later, I think in Revelation 17. But I'm telling you so y'all can transcribe this or discern it. The 10 horns represent the 10 kings or 10 kingdoms. Now, it's our job in this day to discern the 10 kingdoms. A lot of people point to BRICS and say BRICS number going to end at 10 and da-da-da-da. You got all that going on, but study to show yourself approved. We all figuring this shit out. But you own it. You
But go back to the 7 though, because they mentioned that 7. Go back, read that passage again with the 7 that was in there. It was talking about the female, the woman, or whatever, and the beast and the woman. Because I'm finna tie it right.
3.
I'm finna put it right.
He wants you to reread verse 3.
Okay.
Yeah, read verse 3.
When Felicia Lockhart was texting me about some information I sent her earlier, she wanted to know the interesting thing of this of a story. So I just telling her she can come on as well because actually, you know, she.
Yeah, man, tell her come on because we had a good bill yesterday. Me and her had a good bill yesterday. She was breaking the stuff down too.
Mm-hmm.
But read that verse 3 again, so I can tie what you said.
Okay. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Okay. So Shaq, let me help you out here. So what they telling you, what your ancestors telling you is, listen, behind what you seeing unfold in front of you is a great force back here. We're gonna call it a red dragon. It's got 7 heads. You define the 7, so keep that in your head. But he letting you know with that 7, along with the fact that there's 10 kings, okay, and 10 kings and 7 crowns. So he telling you them 7 got crowns. So there's some force that's governing the crown over each one of them 7, as well as be cognizant of the 10 horns. These are all separate things for a reason. You take it line by line, precept by precept. So it's showing you that the significance is in the 7 heads. That's one part. The significance is in 10 horns. That's another part. But I need you to pay attention. Is 7 crowns upon these heads. Pay attention to, don't ever let none of this slip past you. Don't ever just read through it and not catch the details of it, because your ancestors giving you this vision for a reason. So that as you see it unfold and you looking at world leaders, you're trying to categorize things. Okay. You're trying to say, hey man, is that a king? Yeah, that's a king. Okay. Let me see if he want to those kings, or is he going to get thrown out of power? Because this book say it's only going to be 10 of these. So everybody else can't stand it. It can't be a bunch of Indians, can't be a bunch of chiefs. No. The number is going down to this.
Hold on. Because I went down with. Hold on. I went down with the one. Because didn't it mention the female in that?
Yep.
In one of those verses.
Yeah.
Okay, read that. With the female in
that. Well, I mean, she kind of all in it. At the beginning, she's still with the child. She in birth, and then she brings it forth, and then she has to take off.
Well, I'm tying it together with the 7 consonants. That's females. If you notice, A. Why? Because I was going to ask you this earlier. Why do these consonants start with A, end with A? Now we know any word that ends with A is feminine. See what I'm saying?
Wait, what now?
The earth is feminine himself, but the earth is feminine and masculine.
Yeah.
There you go with the horns, right? Which can be what? Used like if you want to say a penis or whatever, right? A weapon.
Yep.
So the 7 is the feminine. That's the feminine. That's the 7 continents or the nations.
Right.
Okay. Now look, let me read this verse before I get off this thing. Before I get off this Bible thing, yeah. Now let's talk about this chapter 18, since a lot of people didn't really remember this stuff. You know, hey, Dr. Felicia Lockhart, how you doing today?
Hey, y'all, I'm trying to get myself together here. What's good?
Man.
Well, we was talking. What I want to explain this Felicia Lockhart something. Ms. Lockhart, I was doing my thing today and, you know, posting and sending information. I put up this thing on Marco Advisory Partners and they blocked me, right? You know how it go. You know, they block you when you post something they don't like. You know how it go. So then I was talking about who. I said, I feel like I'm 37 years old today. I feel like I'm sitting on top of the world, but who running this thing? What company conglomerate is running this thing? The Lords of War, BlackRock, right? And then I showed you who they honeycombed in with. Me, Shaq, and Marcus had a long conversation earlier talking about all this stuff. And he was looking at Larry Fink. I was looking into it. Then I looked into, we started getting to other people. And, you know, Shaq and Vanguard State Street. So he mentioned it.
I'm going to go back off mic because I'm smoking my cigar. So I'm going to be off camera. So go ahead.
Okay. So I said that we're going to talk about this thing, you know, since he brought the dragon, I'm going to bring up the biblical context of it. So I'm going to read this verses right quick. And after This is chapter 18, Revelations, Marcus, Chak, and Dr. Felicia Locke. After these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with glory. And he cried mighty with a strong voice, said, Babylon the great is fallen. It has become a habitation of devils and the hole of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk the wine and the wrath and of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye may not be partakers of her sins, and ye receive not any of her plagues. For her sons have reached there into heaven, and God have remembered her in inequities. Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works in the cup which she have filled to her double. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. But she say from her, I sit a queen, and I am the widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judges her, and the kings of earth who have committed fornication with her and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they see the smoke of her burning. Ain't that what's going on now?
That's why, I mean, hey, BJ, you already know I didn't expect for you to come on the air and do this after our conversation earlier. I ain't gonna lie. But I just had to put you up on game that if you can't see it from that lens, you're gonna be in confusion. You're gonna be caught up in argument and debate. You're gonna be guessing and assuming, and you're gonna be wasting your time and your existence. That was just the nature. And I'm glad that you pointing this out to people because they get a chance to study, show yourself approved, go line by line, read it. You know, I'm so glad that y'all boys is taking the approach that y'all taking because that's what I'm encouraging. Like I hear Shaq over there in the etymology dictionary, and that's what I'm talking about. Like people can't run from whatever's in their name. So I just wanted to take today and the time to just say, yeah, may everybody pay attention to the words. And when you pay attention to the words, because he just gave you the word, but look into the words and make sure you understand what you're dealing with. So that's why I mentioned Mr. Fink. I just wanted to understand the company better. So I simply just looked into the origin of his name. I don't know anything about the gentleman, but I learned a lot about what he come out of. So I can only imagine what he is because I see what he come out of because it's in his name. And if you look into Trump, make sure you look into his name because people are living up. Even Biden, I had Shaq rolling like, dude, this dude living up to his name. Ain't nobody looked up Biden's name. This dude living up to his name. Got people pissed off, but he doing his job. That's righteousness. You're seeing the word be fulfilled right in front of you because men are being selected by who? The Father. Father do all things, bro. That's why he gave you that book. He set up kings and he sit them down. It's our job to know the script, get in our lane, protect ourselves, be family when necessary. It's a lot of zombies out here. But a lot of people gone, bro. You're gonna have to get ready for the harvest, the slaughter. The people gone. You ain't gonna be able to save folks. That time is gone. At the end of the day, sheep know the voice. So all you gonna do is wake up some that might be a little bit groggy that already was kind of feeling around, but that's about it. Anybody that's trapped in delusion, they're gonna stay there. At the end of the day, I'm glad that y'all can see it from a biblical perspective. So that'll keep all the biases, the hate, the anger, the confusion, and y'all brothers will be out here leading us in the right direction because there's too many emotional brothers out here. There's brothers out here that got massive wisdom and education that are literally speaking on their platforms from emotion. So they're devoid of wisdom. And we need wisdom right now. Wisdom comes from where you just quoted from. Because when you sit and chew on that and figure it out, you ain't got to guess about nothing. You know what's coming.
Well, look. How you feel about that, Miss Lockhart? Shaq, I'm coming to you. I got her at a moment's notice. She just happened to be.
Yeah, I'm in good company, baby.
I mean, you mean about what Brother Marcus just said?
Yes.
You can't dispute truth, and if you argue with truth, you got a problem. I mean, he spoke nothing but truth. He spoke nothing but 100% of the truth. And then the passage that you utilize when you were talking about, I think you're dealing with Babylon is fallen. It says it twice. Babylon is fallen is fallen. My only thing is that when you brothers are talking about stuff like this, I don't want to be involved in these kind of conversations because you guys are the ones that are supposed to be leading the charge. It shouldn't be a woman up here. You should have another cat up here. But I mean, I respect the fact that you brought me. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I appreciate that.
Wow, that's honorable. Wow,
but for me, I just feel like you already hear enough of us. The women, we're always the one saying blah 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 blah. It gets sort of sickening, and it falls on deaf ears after you see us up too much. This cat is bringing you guys the truth, and I appreciate you, son, because I know King BJ just probably doesn't want me to be here. But here's the thing. When we are looking at biblical truths, and I don't mean Roman biblical truth, I don't mean the Jewish biblical truth or the Catholicism biblical truth, okay? Because you know how I feel about the New Testament. I feel like if you want revelation, okay, cool, you need to head over to Enoch, but that's just me. If you know what I mean, you need to be in the book of Jasher, you need to be even in Ezra. There are several other places that you can go. However, the reason why I do not personally discount the New Testament is because it convicts itself. If you put it in a trial, it will actually testify against itself because it's exegete completely from Old Testament. Old Testament meaning Hebrew, what was actually taken and stolen. They listen. Let me just say this, and then I'm going to get off and let you men talk.
Well, I don't want to get off because I want to talk about that thing with Michael Powell first because I was going to bring it up on here because that's what we really were about to talk about. It's just that when we were talking about it, I just sent you the link anyway just to come on. So I want to break that down before you go, though.
Okay, so anything that you can take and create for the Romans, and you know who I mean, okay? The only thing that they can do is duplicate or attempt to steal it and to change it. That's all. They don't have anything original in them. When they took all of those different orators or scribes from the Hebrews, especially, I'll use the Flavians as an example. They took a Hebrew scribe, they had him take everything, they inserted themselves in it. Then they said, okay, here you go. Here's something. Here's the quote unquote New Testament. And the New Testament was not even that. That was not the New Testament. The New Testament was spoken in the Old Testament, quasi Old Testament. The only thing that these people can do is steal and change things to make it work for them. And that's the reason why I'm qualifying my statement of saying, if you want to know about Revelation, you may as well snatch up Enoch. Enoch will scare you straight. Jasher scare you straight. Ezra, even though it's still a part of their canonical text, it speaks volumes about how many more books there are than the ones that you see. So he's speaking the truth. I do believe that while we're looking at this show being played out in front of us, it's because, and here's what I submit as argument, they are the ones who created what we're seeing being played out in front of us right now today, which if we are born 60 years ago, we're not going to know what happened 1,000 years ago as far as actual history. So we're going to believe, look, this is what the book said. Yeah, but who wrote that book? Who got the copyright on that book? I hope I'm not causing any confusion because that's not my goal. My goal is to say this. When we're looking at the things that we call facts and that we call truth, if it's not coming from the mouth of Yah and we know what he means, he does not go back on what he says. He does not change in what he says. He is the same yesterday, today, forever. He's the same before the yesterday. We understand. If it goes contrary to him, then we know it ain't him. That's my reason for not dealing with what the Flavians did when they came up with the quote unquote gospels. Does that make sense?
Yep. Now let me I want to bring up this thing. It's called.
No, you lost your guy, and that's what I didn't want.
Oh no,
I did not.
He's working. He's working. So he's
Okay.
working. Yeah, he's out there in Arizona. So he's
Okay, but I didn't want you to lose him. So find out, make sure.
He's fine because he on just like you. At time to time, it was really supposed to be in Shaq, and I said, you know what? Let's open this thing up.
Yeah, he don't. Hey, it's a how you doing, Ms. Lockhart? It's a very. I mean, Marcus don't even show up when he's playing. We had these conversations behind the scenes and delegate behind the scenes, and me and Bernard, we kind of boastful, so we go out in public and make these, you know, because we the
I need
bold
to
ones that go
clarify,
out.
but you know, I feel like I'll be confusing people if I don't clarify this and put a button in it and just hurry up and land the plane. Let me land the plane.
Okay.
When we're dealing with New Testament, we must utilize Old Testament scripture because everything in the New Testament was exegeted from the Old Testament. When we're looking at the 66 canonical books, the books that have been canonized by the Catholic Church, we have to understand its purpose. Okay, we have to understand the purpose, and the purpose is to confound. First off, how do you have, our Father? I'll say it like that because that's generic for everybody. How do you have our Father tell David, go in and subdue all when he's dealing with the battle of Ziklag, and then you got this cat over here that says, turn the other cheek. If you turn the other cheek, you're gonna get beat up. You're gonna get taken over. But then you got the same God over here saying, hey, I want you to go into this camp. I want you to take this out. I want you to take them out. Don't leave one child. Don't leave one adult. Don't leave nothing. And there's a purpose for that. What I have a problem with now is you have people saying, oh, the God of Israel, the God of Isaac and Jacob, the God of Abraham, that God is a God of murder. No, he ain't. He's a God of war. He sure is, but there's a purpose. If you don't understand the purpose, and if you don't understand what was dwelling in the land at that time, then you'll walk into it with a Westerner's mindset, and you'll walk into it with this mindset of turn the other cheek. The only person that wants you to turn the other cheek is Catholicism, is the Romans that put together that other one. You know why? Because that's the only way they're going to subdue you if you're weak and you turn the other cheek.
Well,
turn the other cheek so they can beat the heck out you.
Yep.
And that's how.
Hold on, what happened?
I don't know. That might be his phone. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just add something to what she just said for people listening that may play this back. When she said canonized, you can look the etymology of canon is. It's pretty much a rule or the law. So turn it into a rule, turn to a law. Old English canon, rule, law, or decree of the church. So they pretty much just turned it just canon law. You can look up canon law. Pretty much turning something into law or a rule.
But nothing that Rome did or does supersedes what Yah says.
No. Can I say something real quick? I mean, I agree with what she's saying, and no, I don't think that you brought confusion, the spirit of that in the conversation. I think it's important, like I said earlier, when you're reading through scriptures, you never want to just read through. The scriptures instructs you to read them line by line, precept by precept. Here a little, there a little. It doesn't even promote for you to be reading through like some book. It's not constructed in that way. You're correct when you say always refer to the Old Testament, because that's the precept by precept. You want to be sure in what it is you're reading. And lastly, the part is what you alluded to when you first came in and said, the Father has put men down here who have a gift of what's called discernment. That means when they read those scriptures, the ancestors talk to them and they know exactly what our people were trying to tell us, not the person who decoded this and transcribed it and is now presenting the information, not the presenter. You can now see past that to the original presenter and what that ancestor is telling you, the wisdom, the knowledge, the safety mechanism that book is. It's an instruction manual. It's simply how to live in the seventh day and to avoid all of the correction, as you just labeled out when you said her plagues. Her plagues are correction. I heard her say, she mentioned the law where he told David to kill everything pissing on the wall. That's the one to erase the seed of evil. The only way to get rid of evil and to establish perfect peace, according to the ancient laws, is to erase the ability for the evil to reproduce. Same way a gardener comes into a garden and he has spider mites in his plants or whatever. It's about to be a protocol put down to where that thing is eliminated to where it cannot host. Hosting means reproduce. If it cannot reproduce, it is eliminated. So there are places in the book, and you must have discernment, that the Father does all things. He puts the voice in the head of all. He put two things in front of man: perfect righteousness and perfect evil. You can do either one. I like to point people to the R. Kelly situation, that if you're a young man that aspires to do something great, the Father will hand you to your desires, and next thing you know, your voice will move millions of people. But you also can have a voice come down on you to tell you to do some nefarious, sneaky, deceptive type of things. And if you adhere to it, you have no discipline, then guess what? You'll be handed to your desires by the same force, the Father. And then you'll turn into his situation. So at the end of the day, there's great wisdom in that book, but I showed y'all etymology to peel through the Roman confusion. That's why I showed you the etymology. Go back to 14th, 13th century or earlier and see how these words were derived from the Hebrew, from the Shemitic. Then you can discern what is really behind that word, and maybe whether you should be using it or shouldn't be using it. Just as I told Chak, as I refer to things as first day, second day, third day, fourth day, and I was like, what did you just call it? Tuesday. I was like, go look it up. You think paganism and witchcraft that the book talks about in your mouth is just talking, but no, you have no understanding of what you're saying. So you should go do some homework on the actual phonetic words you're using and what you're saying. And then that's when we start to really gain some understanding. And that's when we start to really be able to pinpoint and spot evil, because you're enacting a part of your righteousness from your ancestors. And that's the reason for going to that book. That's just what I want to say.
I love it. I love it. You know what? I'm going to say this to Lammy back on what he's saying. The Great Vowel Shift was a time where between 14 and 1700s, where the vowel shift shifted everything. So why do I bring that up? Well, for example, what he's saying, a piece of what he's saying, what I interpret, if you look at the word holy, it's actually from holly. What is the holly day? Holly day is from India, where they paint themselves with all this paint and, put on this beautiful festival where they're all running around. You got everybody who's in quote unquote Christendom running around talking about holy.
Yep.
And you don't even understand that is an actual God.
Yes, it is.
So so when people are, I am the person that I go back and back and back and back. If you say it started here, well, then I want to see what was before there. So I go all the way back to the Sumerian texts when I'm dealing with stuff. I go all the way back to Samaria. I go all the way back to Viamana flying around in the sky. I'm looking at all of that. I'm looking at all of it. I'm not only, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Abraham's actual lineage. I'm looking at the fact that he is from Ur. And then I'm looking at who was in Ur first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who,
right.
Who was Masha? Who was Moses really talking to? People, right. and these are the
Yesi. Who the Yesians?
You see? Yeah. I'm going back and back and back and back. And so it makes it a little difficult for you to have a lot of friends. But who cares about those individuals? But what it does do is it helps you understand that when you're walking through and looking at different things, like you said, examining the texts, if you're not coupling your examination of what you call study for the quote unquote Bible, then you are doing yourself a disservice if you're not taking with you the if you're not using the interlinear, if you're not going back and pulling it all away from people, if you're not thinking what did the Greek mean by this, then you can discern what it is that you're looking at. But you got to be able to do this and be willing to put in the time to study it, because it's not just going to fall on you because you believe that the Holy Ghost is going to impart wisdom to you. It's going to come to you, but it's only going to be in the doses that you're allowed to do if you are earnestly seeking. if that makes sense.
Well, let me bring something up. Let me bring something up because I got to get out here in about 20 minutes. I want to bring this up though because I wanted to bring this up to Dr. Lockhart and actually to you, Marcus and Shaq. All right, let me get this guy, Mike Powell. Mike Powell is from Macro Advisory Partners. He's a senior advisor in the White House, or was former. U.S., EU, China, economic and trade, sustainability, and energy transition. I'm just going to read it all through. He's a former U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor for International Economics 2022 to 2024. In his White House role, he led the Biden administration International Economic Policy Team and also served as the President's Sherpa to the G7 and G20. Prior to his role, he was the Chief Economic Advisor to the Vice President during the administration's first year. As President Biden Deputy National Security Advisor for International Economics, Mike led the National Security Council's initiatives on international economics, trade, and investment, including on issues like critical minerals, the growing role of technology in economic and national security policy. He also acts as a key negotiator with Europe and other allies on Russia's sanctions, the clean energy transition in China. In this and other public service roles, he has been a pivotal architect of modern U.S. industrial innovation strategy, as well as a leader in diplomatic initiatives through the G20 and other forums to create broad-based international support and partnerships. Before the Biden White House, he spent 7 years at BlackRock, right? Culminating in a role as the firm's global chief investment strategist at MAP, which is the abbreviation for what Micro Advisory Partners. He draws on his single experience and offers our clients unique insights in macroeconomics, industrial strategy, and national security. So that is the guy, Mike Powell, you were talking about, Felicia Lockhart, that you said you wanted to look into. That is about him. You can get more on him. I'm just giving you the rundown of who he is, who he tied to, and who he was tied to.
Well, what that means to me, here's the thing. I'm so glad that I'm not attached to parties any longer in my life. Of course, I have been at one point, but I did always vote the person that I felt that I could, connect with the best when I was into that. But what I will say is, since I've detached myself from this place, I don't care who they put where they put them, because I already know that this right here, all the stuff that we see right here, this is not going to be here. These individuals are doing exactly what they're supposed to do because they're kingdoms that are fighting right now. These are kingdoms that we're seeing moving into different territories. That's all this is. These are kingdoms taking over. Now, we know who BlackRock is from a financial standpoint. We know that Vanguard is BlackRock and BlackRock is Vanguard, and we got BlackRock, Black something, and Vanguard and more. But what you don't know is who's behind it for real, for real. You can see the name BlackRock and it puts some type of fear in certain people. Don't put no fear in me because I already know this stuff belongs to these people, these entities. This is their stuff. That's the reason why we have to separate ourselves and come out of that mindset, because if we don't, then we'll get sucked in to their arguments and their fights. I don't care what they do about their stuff. I don't care what they do. This is all their stuff. Let them have their stuff, because you know what's going to happen for those of us who truly are on a day by day. And here's the most important thing. And I want anybody who's listening to me in the replay to understand this. Any of the frailties that you have, work those out with you and the Most High. You work out your issues that you have the same way I have to work out my vices and issues the same way. But on your road to doing what you know you're supposed to do, make sure you leave them people's stuff alone. Don't get involved in it. I report on it because I'll do one story, read the copy, and then I'm off of it. I don't care what these folks is doing. If you look up Trump's name, Trump, what is it? It's the highest card in the deck. Trump. They changed the name from Trump to Trump, so it'd be a little more palatable to the Westerners. They don't want you to know about the dramatic, undertones of it. What am I saying? If you look into the dramatic people and then you trace it all the way back to the beginning, you're going to see something. Leave these individuals and these entities and these different sects of entities alone. That's all I got to say about that.
All right, what you got to say?
She said, "Did I not tell you the same thing, BJ, on the phone? Did I not tell you? I said diligent means careful.
Go on her show.
Woo.
Great.
I ain't mad at that. I told you it's in the name. She's trying to lead you to that water. Go ahead, take a drink. You'll like it. You know what I mean? It's like some little Kool-Aid water. You know, it ain't that mineral water. They ain't got no flavor, no nutrients, no nothing. But you know. But
and
I
then
agree
they got
100.
an
I agree
Illuminati
100%.
card. Then they got an Illuminati card from the 90s with a bullet passing by this cat's ears. Why would you even want to get involved with it? Then you've got the whole Ingersoll story. Then you've got the whole fact that his uncle was dealing with Tesla, and that some of Tesla's documents was missing. And now you find that they're intrigued with quantum physics and moving through time. The only people who have time constraints in their brains are the humans that are here. These cats know what they're dealing with. They know who they are. They know that if we felt weird when we took a nap 2 days ago, that it's because of the magnets and it's because of the shifting that's going on right now in this earth. See, we're the only ones that walk around in a circle. We're the only ones that go around and around and around and around and look at the same stuff. Yep. Meanwhile, they passing stuff that affects you because you're dealing with them. If you're dealing with them, the things that they pass will affect you. Come out of her.
Well, let me bring something up about this. I want to bring something up. I just wanted to bring up things. I want to bring up something for people who like sports. I would like to announce the passing of Kobe Bryant's father, Jelly Bean Bryant. He died today at 69. So, like they say, one life is born. I was born July 16, 1987. One life is announced dead on July 16th, 2024. Sad to say. There are people who know Jelly Bean Bryant. I just want to point that out. But I want to say this before I go, that I realized in this 37 years, which is really short if you really think about it, right? I mean, I'm only close to 40 now, right? But I realized that, like I said, when I put the topic up, this is all impromptu. And I just said, that, hey, you sometimes feel like you're on top of the world, which you should. I mean, I hope you feel like that when you get up in the morning. You're like, yeah, I'm getting ready to do something. I'm ready. Boom, 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 right? But you got to know who the players are, right? And that's why I pulled up Black Rock and Michael Powell and all these guys. Because somebody trying to make your world a living hell. That's what they trying to do to you. They want you to feel that pain. But you got to know, hey, look, after 37 years, you're supposed to know something. So when I say when people are like 50 and 60, if they can't have the conversation we having, you gotta watch out. Because like Marcus said, a lot of these people is already gone. I will say this, Marcus. Sometimes you might need to go on Miss Lockhart's show. She is a treasure, I will tell you. Matter of fact, Miss Lockhart, shout out your information so people can find you actually on that show, because you are a true treasure.
Well, you know what? It ain't my power. I'll tell you that right now. I'm human as human can be. But what I will tell you is you can find me on Headlines with a Voice here on YouTube, and also the Lockhart Perspective on YouTube. And then I'm also on if you want to do just podcasting, you can go to Anchor, which is now the other company, that green one, Spotify. I'm on Spotify and a few other places. But you know what? I want to just say this, and all you'll get and truly, truly, truly get you some understanding. Study the studied, exegete everything, pull it apart, tear it apart, and then use what's left. Throw all that other stuff in the garbage can and use what's left. And sometimes you got to empty out your own mind and get out your own way to start to figure stuff out. You guys intercede for me daily. Please don't pray for me. You only pray for yourself. But intercede for me daily if you lined up with the one. If you lined up correctly, then you can intercede for me. That's it.
Okay. We got Mr. Marcus.
Oh man, I appreciate you again for having me on. It's always great to hear righteous perspectives, which creates an environment where you get more or less peaceful conversation about a chaotic, confusing, emotionally driven world that is focused on money. Money is the root of all evil, not some, not certain, not one, not a number, all evil. So when the focus is on money, you just need to know how to, as she said, study to show yourself approved in so many words by tearing everything apart, reconstructing it. Understand what your ancestors are telling you so that you acquire trust and graduate from belief, so that you acquire assurance and graduate from hope, so that you have understanding, so that you stay away from situations that require luck, like gambling and lotteries. Politics is a lottery. Did I say that? I'm sorry. Anyway, it's been fun, bro. Man, I appreciate you. I'm gonna check out Miss Lockhart. I definitely appreciate praise the Father for her. I feel the same way. No credit goes to me. It's a spirit that guides what I say. I don't remember anything I say after I say it. I don't have any short-term memory anymore, so that's how I know I graduated. Um, I appreciate when I hear the words because I know it's something behind the vessel that's opened themselves up and living a certain way to allow something to talk through them. So I appreciate Miss Lockhart. I appreciate your sacrifices in life. See so therefore the interceding you talking about, I'll go ahead and I'll make sure I'll make that happen for you because I know I've spoken a language that you understand that I'm one of them ones. I tried to explain to my brother that I'm selected. See, many are called, but few are what? Chosen. Few are chosen. Many are called. Many gonna figure out what's going on. But listen to me. Few. And it's a reason for that because it's a great sacrifice you got to make in real life. Every day you got to get up and you got to think about your peoples, not yourself, in order to really be connected to the one. I'm telling you that. So every day, not only figuring out how to survive, I'm figuring out how to rescue our people for the 50 cities that are coming. I don't just talk what I'm telling you. I've made a commitment to live it. You brothers have known me for a few years. You will see it all unfold. Just take the opportunity to take this mentorship that y'all are actually getting as young men, you and Chak, because you have people around you that have ancient, not elder, ancient spirits speaking through them. So go back and rewind. It's not just for the people. It's for you as well, brother. We love you. So I appreciate you. Thank you. And I'll see you on the next one.
Marcus, please don't leave. Don't leave.
I won't.
DJ and Chak.
Where's Chak? Go ahead.
Hold on. It is very rare that you are allowed to be an audience of an individual who is of the order of Melchizedek. It's very rare.
Wow, she know who I am. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm at the order of Melchizedek. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm a representative of the tribe of Yakin. Yes, I am. I'm a descendant of David. Yes, I am.
You sitting here. You're sitting here with somebody. You guys. Very rare that you get. So you find a lot of cats that talk, a lot of cats that read, but when he is of the order of Melchizedek, there are only a handful of these cats. Okay? You guys, that's all I'm gonna say. Take heed. That's it.
Hey, Chak, man, what do you think about this enlightened conversation on this, like they say, going up on a Tuesday?
But that's who he is.
Hey, look, just call me Magic Johnson, baby. I just drop down. I just get a sit, baby. I put the team together and let the team work as a team, baby. That's all I do. I sit back. Shout out to the good peoples, man. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, this is fun. Go ahead, Chak. Shout out the information, man. We've been talking to Marcus for a while. Marcus, let me say this first. Before you go, let me say this. Marcus found me years ago, right? And it was very interesting, right? Because I like, what's the guy he never Instagram? He's like, yeah, I hear you on all these shows. I hear you. You talk well. You got a lot of power behind you. You got spirit backing you, blah, blah. He said, man, you know, you like an anchor or something like that. And actually, I did get me a necklace of an anchor now. Unfortunately, the link on it broke, but I want to have another one of a lion, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay, right? Now, that's okay, right? But I do thank him for always checking on me and making sure things, because, you know, they had banned me from YouTube for like 4 months. They told me it was like 14 days, but it was 4 months. He called me. He like, what's going on? So I had to really start thinking. But I learned that these people cannot stop my voice. The only thing they can do is try to hinder it. But that's because I'm telling it like it is. I'm just pointing out the facts, and I give you information. Like I told a guy the other day, he said, man, you got a lot of information, but you don't. I said, it's not my job to cover everything. That's why you have people around you to cover certain things, because if you try to do that, you will drive yourself crazy. I said, daggone, 80% of people ain't gonna listen to your ass nowhere and think you're a problem. So you somebody gonna twinkle it back in that ear. And then, you know, hey, look, man, like me right now, what am I about to do? I'm telling you, it's 95 degrees in Richmond today. But I got to still exercise. I still got to drink water. I still gonna go sit in the sun, might be in the shade, but it'll be out there. See, I ain't scared like that. Oh my God, it's a heat advisory, and you must stay inside. They tell the people in Richmond, Virginia all the time, it's a heat advisory. You shouldn't go outside. Well, you can stay your ass in like a damn recluse then, right? But I ain't doing that. Sorry, that's how they got you. And Dr. Felicia Lockhart in October 2nd through the 4th, right here in Washington, D.C. and Virginia, they're going to have a International Bird Flu Summit. Well, they're going to try to get you to stay inside again. So that's all I got to say. Go ahead, Shaq, challenge information.
Yeah, y'all can tap in, man, with me, man. Shaq Elvis on Instagram. Shaq Elvis on Facebook. And Shaq Wild on these YouTube streets. While being in the bushes, baby.
Hey, look, man. Hey, sometimes you just got to be that, man. You got to be. You got to shake up the pot.
Sit back and observe, baby. That's my duty. Observe and report, man. Sit back and observe.
Shake up the pot. I thank y'all for coming on, hanging me on the, what do you call 37th anniversary. There was mom was here, 67 years old. Stepmom gone. So Dr. Felicia Lockhart, always thank you for calling me a son all the time. That's great. I'm glad you acknowledge me that way. So that's always good. So your word is not forgotten. Y'all fellas, y'all not forgotten. Just keep putting out information. Marcus, go on Dr. Felicia Lockhart's show and let Shaq keep passing the ball behind the back.
I got you, brother. I'll just tell you one thing before I go, BJ. I'm going to let you go. Remember what I've been telling you the theme of today is. Don't take it lightly, bro. Your power. Why I say you got power. Your name, brother. It's in the name. Do you know what your name means? Bernard. You a bear, brother.
I know.
You're a bear. You know, Saint Bernard. You're an Alpine Mastiff. Listen, it's a lot of dudes that's gonna claim they a dog, right? But dogs come in what? Many different species, which you gonna call breed. Father didn't make everybody the same, brother. You're an Alpine Mastiff. Do you understand? So I want to tell you something. Human nature is a monster. So we know you ain't got no fear, but what I'm telling you is fear is what's getting all our brothers killed right now, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you a bear, when you're an Alpine Mastiff, you're not a poodle, you're not a Chihuahua. I need you to use wisdom when you walk around in the streets, brother, because the minute you come across a demon force, he gonna get scared. And if he's scared, they shoot bears, brother. Ain't nothing else you can do but play dead or shoot him. Understand me? So everything I tell you is in wisdom. I don't crack jokes. I'm not one of them brothers. But everything I tell you is because I love you. And I want you to be here.
Thank you, man.
For real.
Yep. Thank you. Well, with that being said, this was an impromptu episode. I had sent the link to Bishop and everybody else, but didn't nobody know I was doing this. I just said, you know what? We were talking about it. And I said, you know what? Let me come back home before I get too tied up and do it. But thank y'all for coming on. This is impromptu. Dr. Felicia Lockhart, we be looking at you live. I always have to go in there because the notifications don't ring in that much these days. Even Shaq don't even get your notifications. They don't like what you're saying. I get it. So we always tap in when we get a chance. So take your time, have a great evening or afternoon or whatever. And Marcus is still in the morning over there in Arizona. So, but whatever the case may be, take your time, have a good day, and just learn some more.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Take your time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.